When you think of great returners, I think of Andre Agassi returning Pete Sampras's serve, or Rafael Nadal and Novak Djokovic returning Roger Federer's serve. The return of serve itself is the ultimate counterpunch shot, and I think if you attack a person's second serve, it's the most intimidating counter tactic in tennis because if you attack the second serve successfully, what happens is the server will start double faulting. And I know tennis players will never admit that they're intimidated by their opponent, but if you attack their second serve and they start double faulting, that is intimidation in its full effect. So in this video, I'll show you several ways you can attack their second serve. You could be very creative in attacking their second serve. There's so many different ways. And also later in the video, I'll tell you about how the return of serve itself is the ultimate counterpunch shot. And it's not particularly because of the server. It's because really of your positioning. And so here's a safe but aggressive way of attacking their second serve. And here's me. I'm returning. Andrew's the one serving. And notice here when I'm about to return, I want my forehand, right? So I want to hit with my forehand. So I'm already shifting to the left here. I'm already shifting to my left, getting ready for that forehand, and I'm going straight up the gut right here. So what I'm trying to do is just jam my opponent. I'm not going for a winner, I'm going for something where I can jam my opponent and just pop up a short ball. And that's what happened. And right here, I have a backhand that I could go cross court here. I could do an approach, or I could go straight up to the open space with that down the line. And it's set up for me for that down the line, and I went with that. Here's one where pure power is involved. So here's me, the returner here, and Abby's the one serving. And when he serves, notice how I shift again to my left to get a forehand. And right here, I'm just going to go up the line. And you have to be careful with these kind of attacks because if you don't hit that one really well, if this ball is pretty slow or just a rally ball shot, Abby can get it and just hit it cross court here. So this has to be a very good and powerful return. And so when I hit this one, it just, I'm just pretty much aiming for this whole this part of the court, just going for power, and I made it through. And so, but if you're going for placement, you got to get it right here so that the server can't get to it. Here's one where Andrew is crowding the service line. So as you can see, as I'm about to serve here, watch Andrew here. He's coming up really close to the service line. And let's see what happens here. So he's coming up and he's trying to take the ball early, right on top of it. So this ball actually goes deep. I'm still kind of in my service motion, and I'm a little bit surprised that Andrew here is coming up super close. And this is a pretty close gap here. So, and then he just took it off the bounce and went up the line. And I am not fully ready for that shot. And he made a great down the line return. Here's a good one here where I just simply took the return as an approach. So I watched Daniel serve here. And again, I'm going with my forehand. And I'm just trying to get this ball early. And I'm trying to take it inside out to his backhand. And it's not a great shot or a super powerful shot, but it's a good enough shot so that the server is running laterally. And what makes this effective is that I am charging in. So I don't normally go for return approaches or attack this way. So this is, this involves a little surprise element. So when Daniel sees me approaching, just going up to the net, he's rushed. He feels rushed. There's actually a big open space here that he can go to, but he feels rushed and feels late in getting into it. And I forced the error just by simply charging in. Here's a very interesting one on the deuce side here, and Daniel is the one returning. So I hit this second serve slice. right in the middle there. And instead of using the forehand, Daniel opts for a backhand, and he's going to take it inside in. And if you do this well, if you execute this very well, it's going to be tough to get this ball. So, and maybe you have a stronger forehand, but the backhand here on this inside in return may be easier to hit. It's usually easier to hit these inside in balls on this side here with a backhand. So if you have a good two-handed backhand, try doing this inside in return instead of that forehand. The forehand still can be good, but it may kind of curve in here and the server can still get to it. But with a backhand, right, backhand can go up the line and it may curve out and away. So this can be a very effective return of serve attack. So there's many different ways you can attack the second serve, and I encourage you to be creative and do attack the second serve as best as possible. You will miss sometimes, but you got to take your chances, and I would take your chances during important points, like maybe 30 all or 30-40. I wouldn't do this too early in the match. Try to do it on the later stages of the set where things get a little bit more pressure and you have to accept that pressure. So what makes the return of serve the ultimate counterpunch shot? Well, obviously, if you're the server here and you have a great first serve and second serve, the returner has to find a way to counter that. But what if the server has a very weak serve? And this is where a lot of players get into trouble here. A lot of returners get into trouble just because maybe a server has a weak serve, maybe low pace, it goes in. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's kind of like a short ball, right? Like a short ball rally, maybe that's a little easier. It's not just a ball that just floats into the center of the service box. You as a returner are already in a very defensive position. So don't underestimate this. You as a returner are literally cornered here. You're cornered on the side of the court, and you are already in a defensive position. You have to, when you hit a return, you have to run back to the center, right? Also, this is the first shot that you'll hit. So, regardless if the server is bad server or good server, that first shot is going to be a little bit unpredictable. You don't really know where that ball is going to go. Also, the trajectory is different. So when you're hitting like a regular ground stroke, right, most of those balls are just going to come from the hip level, right? Hip level, so it's a little bit lower. When you're a server, that ball is coming from on top of your head. So the trajectory of that ball is a little different. So the returner has this very awkward position. Regardless if that server has a weak serve, you will always be in that weaker position, very awkward position, and you cannot underestimate that. You are counterpunching that serve, but you're also trying to counterpunch your own positioning. So keep that in mind when you're returning serve, and try to attack the second serves a little bit more. Be a little bit more aggressive and show the server that you're not intimidated. You're the one that's going to intimidate your opponent. If you enjoyed this video, kindly do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.